Hey there, my lovely pumpkins. In today's video, we are diving into the subdivision method of modeling. Now, I won't lie to you, this technique can be pretty intense if you are just starting out. It's the hardcore way, and we are in this together. Before we jump in, a massive shout out to all new subscribers. Welcome to the community. I have so much respect for each and every one of you, because I know learning something new can be tough. We are super close to hitting 100 subscribers, so finger crossed we reach the milestone soon. Now let's make the controller. We can use the bevel tool as we did before to make it a little bit rounded, but I thought about it and I want to use another approach, which is using modifiers. Modifiers allow you to modify an object in non-destructible way, which means you can always get it back as it was and it is not confirmed until you press apply. Added a modifier, let's go to generate, and you have all these modifiers. So let's go to generate and do a subdivision surface. Now you can see it became like this. It's added more like levels to have more geometry. Okay, let's do it like that. Why it's rounded like this? Did we lose our object? We said it's not destructible. The thing is, we did not really lose it, because if you press tab to enter edit mode, you will see that your object is still here. So if you move this, this will move with it. So your initial object is still here, and if you press this, you will get it back. Okay, this is what it means by it's not destructible. It's an indestructible way to modify your geometry, and at any moment and at any time you can just go back to what it was. So let's do this again, and let's add it more. Okay, and let's leave it like that. Why it is more rounded? Like, we don't want it to be this rounded. The thing is, what it is doing, it's basically taking an edge like this one, for example, and trying to add edges around it and average it in a way to make it rounded. So it's average everything to make it this rounded, and then it do it to this, this, and this, to and every edge basically to make it rounded like that. So if we want to make it still straight to a certain point, we can just add another edge here. It's named a supporting edge, and like that it will not lose that geometry, so it will not be that rounded. Let's press Ctrl R, added an edge, and just take it up. Let's do this to down 2 and take it up. We want this to not be this like this rounded, so just Ctrl R and bam. See, Ctrl R and bam. See, and now if you go out of the row, look how it looks. Let's shade smooth it, and you can see it is pretty clean. Okay, let's go back to shade flat, enter edit mode, and if you press E, you can do this, and it will be less, it will be very straight right here. You can do this to the top too. Like, if you choose all this and you press E, you can make it really flat, and as you can see now it looks pretty nice. This way of modifying object and this way of editing is pretty useful if you are making a character, for example, because the character needs to be smooth, or some shape that it is dynamic, that have some curves. This way of modifying the object is pretty useful in this way. So now let's make the crease inside. If you go and press Ctrl R, and let's add it right here, and then Ctrl R and let's add it right here. Okay, and if you press on face mode and just get closer and select all these faces, press Alt then E, then along normals, and put it inside, you will get it like this, which is not really, like, it's averaging and smoothing it away like it did it before. So one way to do it is to redo what we did before, but as you can see the shape is getting more and more complicated. Like, if you look to it, the shape now have two edges right here next to each other. It have these edges, it have this face inside, and these edges too. So the shape is getting more and more complicated, and because of that, if you want to modify something in the future, it will be a lot harder to modify it. So if we want to do it, we need to do this, then to do not this, like this, then to do it inside too, like get very close and try to add it one here, one here, to make it like that, to make it pretty smooth like that. And as you can see now, if you need to modify this, let's say you want to move it up or move it down, or you feel that this is too much, you want to make it smaller, it will take so much to just modify it. So let's go back and let me show you another way to do it. You can select with edge selection, press on an edge, double click to select the full thing, and just right mouse button, and you have edge crease. If you press this, you can get this, like you can make it a lot harder without adding anything. And if you do this to the outside too, right mouse button, then edge crease, you can do this, and you can make it inside. Let's select the inside tools. Let's select the inside. Is it inside? Yeah, it is the inside, right? No, it is not. No, here it is the inside. You can press Ctrl E to have all the edge options. Okay, like all these edge options, if you press Ctrl E, you get them all here. Edge, you have the edge crease. Because as I said before, the right mouse button, it gives you a collection of most used basically tools in the edge and face and vertex. But if you press Ctrl E, you will get only the options specified to the edge. Okay, if you press Ctrl F, you get only the options of the face. If you press Ctrl V, you get the vertex options. So Ctrl E, the edge options, Ctrl F, the face options, and the Ctrl V, the vertex options, which are these options like face, edge, and vertex. And if you right mouse button, you get a collection of the most used tools of the three, of the face and edge and vertex. Now let's press the Ctrl E as I said, and edge crease is Shift E. Let's do Shift E, and let's do it. Here we go. The same thing goes to up. Select this and then Shift E and just crease. And as you can see, now you have the same result. Now you have the same result without adding any geometry. And if you shade smooth, it looks awesome. Okay. Let's go to edit mode again, and as you can see, they are turned purple because they are creased. What if you want to change this? Like you did it like that, but you know, this way, like the adding this give you some kind of control, because if you don't like, for example, this turned, you want it to be more, you can just press G, X and move this to modify it. Like you can, like let's say you want it to be like that instead. So now you modify it. But this way, it seems that you can't do it because you already did this. Well, you can actually modify it. Select the edges, then press N to get these options in the edit mode. It's basically the same options as before, that when you press N, like if you go like this and press N, you get all these options that have item, tool, view, and you can camera lock here. But if you are in the edit mode, you have some new options, which is this crease right here. Like if you select this, you see that your mean crease is 0.98, which means it's 98%. So you can make it 1%, which is like 100, or you can change it. Okay, like this. Oh, let's make it 90% actually. Okay. And if you want to delete, like let's say you don't want any crease, you can just make it 0. And if it's 0, it's not purple anymore, and it is back. And you can just do this. Let's make it crease again. Now we have this shape. Let's press N again to make it disappear. Okay. Now let's add a hole for these two. First let's like get it to 2 just to make it not as obvious, and sheet smooth it later on. And then let's apply it. Actually I want it to be more. Let's give it back to 3 and let's apply it. Okay, that's better. Now after we apply it, you can see that now we have a lot of vertex and edges, which means it became a lot harder to work with it. If we want to modify this, before we can just select this line, this line, and just S on Y and just do this. But now it does not modify the whole shape, just modify this. So now it became a lot harder to work with. One way to make this a lot easier for yourself is by going here and choosing this. The shortcut is O, or just press this. Now if you press this edge, for example, and let's choose transform. Now if you move it, you can see you have this rounded shape that appears. Okay, so press G and just increase it. Okay, now if you move the whole thing together. Okay, so again J to see it, and on Y and just modify it. This became your favorite tool if your geometry became dense like that, because you can't really go one by one moving them. It will be a lot difficult. Let's go back. Let's deselect it because we are not going to do that. Let me show you another tool. Go to edit, preferences, and go to get extensions and look for the loop tool. Be sure to install this. Choose the loop tool here and go to install it, or just search for it here and install it. Okay, in my case I already installed it. Then go to added on and choose the loop tool and added it. Okay, now if you right mouse button, you get these options. H to hide it. Let's go back a little bit. We are going to try to make a hole right here, so go C. Let's choose the face mode. If you press C to get this rounded selection, and select all this like that. Okay, and press Alt if you want to delete something, or just press, let's delete this, Alt, and Alt and press. Let's select this. Okay, right mouse button to go out of that circle selection, press and loop tool. You can get this, you can do it as a circle, and now you have this circle. Okay, and as you can see, it looks awesome. Now you can select these faces. Like, what if it was a little bit like that, which was like intersecting with this, and you had this artifact right here? What do you do in that case? Well, let me show you a tool. It's a good chance to show you this tool. What you do is basically enter a C selection, and you just select this. You just select this and select this small faces right here that having the problem basically. Okay, and you go to here, go with this or middle mouse button and just go to shrink edge slightly, this one shrink, and no, this one smooth. You go to this smooth. What this do basically is it will smooth between the edges and make some space for you. Like, it will modify the geometry in a way that give you some space. Like, let's do it like that. Now let's smooth it out or back, see, and just smooth it until it's almost intersecting, and just leave it like that. Okay, last like, and let some space. Okay, and just see, now you fixed the problem. And it's not perfectly rounded right now for you, but you can just select this edges right here and just keep smoothing them. Like, select this and just smooth them back a little bit like that, and then just select this and just smooth it to give it that rounded shape. Okay, now you have fixed it basically. And while we are at it, let me show you something that I forgot to show you. Do you remember, like, if you press G twice, you can slide that edge? Here it is the tool. Like, if you forgot the shortcut, remember it's in the edit mode, it's here. it's the edge slide. You can just go and slide your tool. Now let's go to selection again. Let's go to selection again, and press C to select all those inner faces. Okay, here we go. And now press E and intrude to the inside. Why we are having this? Why do we have this? Is it because, oh yeah, it's because we did the, I know you are seeing it like that and you are probably, why it is like this? It's because I used the shade smooth shade. I used this, so we are having this artifact because we are not respecting the edge. But if you press shade auto, you will have this degree, and basically if it's an angle of 30 degree or more, it will not be smoothed, and if it's under 30 degree, it will be smooth. So an edge like this, which is 90 degree, it will not be smoothed. But if we do here like 100, let's say 100, it will be smoothed like that. But for me, I always like to leave it at 30 and leave it like that. Okay, so here it is. Now it looks like that. We can do the same thing for the second button, which is this one. So just to be sure that that this is good, this is actually good. Alt H, get your object back, and it's a little bit off. So JX and just put it inside. And now look how it looks. It looks amazing. It looks awesome. Like we can make this a little bit bigger. Okay, now that's awesome. Okay, let's do the same thing for this one. So let's go Y and just move it. So let's do the same thing. We'll go to C, select all this, Alt to not select the top, and just select all this. Bam. Then right mouse button, loop tool, and circle, and it is basically the same. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. Like if you press S and make it bigger, you may actually extrude sometime or even on the Z. So to be sure that you are not moving into the Z2, S, then shift and select S. Now you have like excluded the Z axis, and just make it a little bit bigger. We have crossed it here, so it will be bad. So let's make it, let's actually relax it right here. Like let's choose this row to this point, and then this row to this point, and then just choose the relax tool. This is smooth, and just smooth it. Give it some smoothness like that. And then let's select the C and select all this right here, and just E, and just, oh my bad, C, and select all this, E. Okay, now we can shift D and exit right here, but I will recommend another idea, which is a chance to use another modifier, which is the array. Generate, then array. Array basically will give you a duplicate that you can like make 2, 3, 4 buttons if you need. Let's make it just 2, and on X, on Y, or on Z, depending on what you want. So let's make it right here, and because of that, it duplicated everything. And the best part is what? If we do something to this, it will be applied to this too. So if we shade smooth it, it will shade smooth too. If we say like, you know what, we want on plus of array, let's add the subdivision, it will be subdivided too. Okay, so let's do the same thing to this one here. It's a smaller one, so let's make it just around it. Let's go to face mode, C, and press not all this, wait, C, and just select this, then select this, and Alt to cancel that selection, and just this. Let's, you know what, let's add this. So let's press C again and add this. Alt to deselect this, and C to select even from here a little bit. So bam bam. Okay, something like that. Okay, now right mouse button, loop tool, and circle. Now you have this circle, which is awesome. Okay, so now let's select this circle, make it a little bit bigger without really like entering the other ones, and just E and Z, and give it some this. Okay, here we go. You can see that we have like something around it, right? So let's do the same thing to this. One way to do it is, you know, let's hide these two, 7, and let's hide them. Okay, like let's get closer and let's try to make something around this. So using the knife tool, where is the knife tool? Here it is. Using the knife tool, shortcut K, as it said right here. So K, we can do this. And press enter. Now if you select this, and you select this from here, you can smooth them a little bit, you know, to give it some space. Smooth them a little bit. Ah, my bad. And just deselect this. Now you can press E and just get this edge up. Maybe not that much. JZ and just get a little bit up. Something like that. It seems that this point needs some like modification, so maybe just modify this a little bit. This and this and this. Not really smooth them, just move them. J on Y. This one too. J on Y. Just give it some space. You can just modify them as much as you need. I will leave this to you actually. So for me, I will just keep it like that. Okay. And now you have this. Now it looks like that. Oh, my bad. Okay. So now let's Alt and H and get our thing back. Let's smooth this. Let's smooth this. You know what? This happened the same mistake here because we have like 90 degrees there. So it's better to use this one and keep it at 30. Now Shift D, go down and just make it a smaller part. And here we go. Make it smaller. Something like that. Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. And if you select this and go to like this one and just vertex, you can delete all the vertex. Press 1 to go to the front view, of course, and you can delete all the one. Like press B and just go right here. Delete all this. X and delete faces. Now we have only the half of it. And let's go back. Here we go. Now we have made this object. We have used some modifiers. Like I forgot to say this. A shade smooth. This shade smooth, auto smooth, is actually a modifier that you can apply if you want. Let's leave it like that. And use the array. And use the subdivision. And we even use the loop tool to make some cuts in the object. Okay. Okay. Now there is something that I wanted to add to this, because if you look at it, it's very hard as an edge, so we can actually bevel it. So select the face, hide it, then select this again. Then let's do this. Double click, then shift and double click, then shift and double click. Let's take this off. I don't need it really. Then shift and double click, shift double click. Be sure to not select inside. Okay, here too. Be sure that you are not selecting inside. I am selecting inside. So, and let's go to here. Be sure to not select inside. Okay. Okay. Oh, and shift double click. Be sure to not select inside. And what you can do is Control V, and you just be sure it's just small bevel, just to give it some. Oh, I forgot. Select this and select this. Control V, and just give it certain degree, like to this point, for example, and leave it. Okay. Now Alt H and get your object back. Okay, you can do this the same thing here. Select this and this, and just Control V, give it a certain here too. Control V, just a little one, something like that, and just leave it. Now we have this. You can do it basically for everything. I will leave this to you if you want to do it. For me, I think it is enough. It is enough. Shade smooth this one too. Okay, and save. And that's wrap it up. We are now one step closer to completing our modeling phase. Today we covered a lot: mastering the subdivision method, creating holes, and even playing around with some modifiers. In the next video we will dive even deeper into the world of 3D modeling. Can't wait to see you all there. Take care, my dear friends. See you later.